Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men?
No.
No?
We don't need short men.
Do you need a man?
No.
Do you need a man?
Oh, God.
Do you need a man?
No.
Do we need men?
No.
Why?
No.
Do we need men?
No.
No? Do we need men?
We need men to make us stupid.
Do we need men? Do we need men? Do women need men in this world? Do we need men?
No.
Why?
Because we can be strong, independent women.
Do we need men?
Like, not necessarily, but like, if I can look at them, like, we need a man to look at.
Do we need men?
No!
No, why?
Nobody needs men!
Really?
We do not need men!
Why not? Why don't we need men?
Why would I need men?
So what can you get from someone else that you don't get from a man?
The only thing I can get from a man that I can't get anywhere else is dick.
Okay.
And I don't need dick.
In all fairness, they probably had a bit too much to drink that night, and they've probably had a negative encounter with a guy as well. So of course their answer is going to be no, we don't need men. Not going to be thinking rationally, too much in their feels. But in all seriousness, everything that they rely on is built and maintained by men to this day. So let's see what the guys have to say about the girls now.
Yes, we do. Why?
These women are awesome.
Do we need women?
Of course.
Why?
They're beautiful.
Do we need women?
Women make us feel compassionate, affectionate.
Do we need women?
Of course we do.
Do we need women?
Yes.
Why?
Because they're hot.
And what else?
They're hot.
Do we need women?
I mean, shit, unless you're gay.
Do we need women?
Do we need women?
Yeah.
Yes, who's gonna do my dishes?
Hey, at least they're honest.
Were you raised by your father, mother?
No, just my mother.
Oh, where's your father?
I don't know. I don't want to meet him.
Why not?
Well, because my mother says I don't want to, and I there's no reason to.
Mama said that. My mama said that. My mama said that. My mama said that. My mama said that.
Mamas say a lot of things to keep the father out of the children's life, unfortunately, just because they have some sort of personal vendetta. They've got to think bigger picture. It's not about you, it's about the children. Somebody please think of the children. And this is actually what happens when you get people who are raised by single mothers a lot of the time. They end up looking like this fucking dork.
Militant intersectional feminists become trad wives the moment reality hits.
Anything men can do, we can. Gender differences.
Correct. Now,
Where's my sandwich?
When we talk about equality in careers, it seems to be very popular to talk about positions of power, politics, C-suite luxury jobs, entrepreneurship. But as soon as we start talking about offshore oil rigging, concreting, bricklaying, underwater welding, the conversation comes to a grinding halt. But let's be honest, if you chuck a woman out in those jobs, 99.99% of them wouldn't last a day.
My baby prays over her food every day without me even asking. She tells me, Mommy, make sure you pray over your food. The other day, I took a bite of my food without praying. She said, Mommy, spit it out and pray over your food.
These people literally want parents to stop having any control of their kids whatsoever.
The question I'm asking is, what is the expertise that you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that an award-winning book, All Boys Aren't Blue, isn't appropriate for students to read?
What a tragic story of a young man who's anally raped by his adult family member. So you have incest, pedophilia. In what context is a strap-on dildo acceptable for public school.
So now you've asked me a question. I'm going to answer it. What's the name of the main character in All Boys Are Blue? You just gave me very specific information about this book, so you're presenting yourself as somebody expert.
The main character is the author.
What's his name?
George, I believe. You didn't answer my question.
No. I'm interviewing you and you're not interviewing me. So let's just make sure it's a conversation. What I'm saying to you is that as you are not an expert in this book,
I don't have to be an expert to know that dildos aren't appropriate for public school.
Who in their right mind would think this is okay for kids to read? Demonic shit, man. Satanists.
There are lunatics trying to make weights woke. You heard that correctly. Alyssa Royce, the owner of Rocket Community Fitness, a CrossFit gym in, you guessed it, Seattle, is now urging CrossFit box owners to stop designating barbells as men and women's bars. 45 pounds equals a men's bar and 35 pounds a woman's bar, but apparently she says this is silly because barbells don't have genders, they have weights. One of her main arguments is that you are implying that if a man cannot handle the heavier barbell, that he is less of a man. Well, newsflash, Alyssa, this is a bad thing. I am 5'2", 102 pounds, and even I can handle the men's bar. Oh, but it gets even worse. The owner also says that by having men and women's bars, you are excluding non-binary folks. This has gotten so out of control. If you are offended by a bar being labeled according to the gender that they are typically used for, then please do me and everybody else a favor. Just stay home. Your mind is already unhealthy, so your body might as well be too.
I'll speak from personal experience here. So I've been a PT for about 2 years now, and I've had women clients come in that can barely handle the women's bar. The women's bar is 15 kilos and the men's bar is 20 kilos. And it's not just the weight, it's the size of the bar too. It's not quite as long. So obviously women have smaller frames, so it makes it easier for them to balance the barbell. It just makes sense.
Women don't accept the reality that men take respect over love any day. Any day, every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Respect me before you love me. And then women position themselves where it's like, well, I'll take safety over love.
Damn. Safety, huh?
So as long as I feel safe with you, I don't have to be in love with you. Because I'll marry the man that I respect before I marry the man that I'm in love with.
You know what? Whew. When you say that out loud,
she ain't lie.
That makes some sense.
Yeah, no, she didn't lie. I have no rebuttals. Because even the safety immediately when you said safety, I'm like, no. In my head, I'm like, no. They want to marry somebody that's financially keeping them safe.
And it's so many different
protect.
It's so many different layers to safety.
But mine emotionally keeping them safe.
But I don't have to be in love with my husband. Because I'm not going to always...
You're not going to always...
No. Yeah. But if I'm safe, where the I'm going? I'm right here.
And that is very true. Men need to feel respected and women need to feel safe. It makes plenty of sense when you really think about it from a biological standpoint. Men crave respect. They crave respect from their peers and they crave respect from women. And women crave safety, security and safety and financial security, physical security, emotional security. Women want security, men want respect. It makes all the sense in the world.
If she's going out, it's a deal breaker for me.
Huge red flag. Same
that for me, it's a deal breaker.
I totally agree.
Why is that a deal breaker? Is it because it makes you insecure?
It has nothing to do with insecurity. It's
what
just, this is a dream world hypothetical scenario. Girls really don't be hitting up guys like this. Would you be okay with your long-term monogamous partner going to a nightclub, bar, or party type environment where throughout the course of the night, he's going to get approached, flirted with, and sexually pursued by numerous attractive women, some of which are more attractive than you and could potentially be a better partner than you, and these women are buying him drinks, getting him drunk, and enthusiastically want to sleep with him that night and steal him away from you? You're going to tell me you'd be okay with that?
No, not with that. Definitely no.
So you can see how this can be a little contradictory because none of you would be okay with it, right? But then you say guys should be okay with girls going out all the time.
Insecure. The modern woman's favorite word when a guy tries to set his boundaries. But you notice as soon as the shoe was on the other foot in their minds, it was a complete no. They changed their viewpoint quicker than a rat going up a drain pipe.
My husband frequently talks to me being like, when are you going to be done with your bachelor's? When are you going to be done with your bachelor's? I'm so tired of watching you get stressed. I just want you to stay home all day and do what you love. Cook, hang out, hang out with the cat. Like he genuinely, and he was so much more excited when I got my job at the grocery store than he was when I brought home my 4 whatever GPA for the whateverth time this last semester. And honestly, like if you really want to just be able to hook a guy, like be good at making food. I promise you.
And their faces say 1,000 words. The girl that's married, she looks happy, she looks youthful, she looks feminine, carefree. Whereas the girls, the strong independent girls, the I don't need no man girls look fucking miserable.
3 women fighting you in a ring, you think you could beat them? Like how many women till it's too much for you? If you had to knock and you were knocking them out.
That's crazy. I've never been asked this question or even thought about it. Do you know who Amanda is? Nunez?
Yes.
Okay. The greatest women fighter that ever has lived. She was a teammate, good friend of mine for a long time, 7-8 years. Obviously, we saw what she would do to all the women. And in sparring, she would more or less could handle most of the girls. But if we got a guy that was from the UFC, bottom of the barrel, like a 2-2 guy or maybe 0-1 guy, we would have to tell that guy not to go full blast, to go with a man and spar. So I don't mean to sound ignorant as I'm about to sound, but if the girls don't know what they're doing, the number could be infinite.
So look, I've been training in mixed martial arts on and off since about high school, so over a decade now, so quite a while. And from my personal experience, and I've been doing a lot more grappling, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu as of late, the last couple of years. And just thinking back to my first few months of training in jiu-jitsu and wrestling and grappling in general, I was rolling with girls that have been doing it for at least 3 years. So around a purple belt level, sometimes brown belt level as well. I've never rolled against a black belt woman before, so I can't speak on that fact. However, when we were training together, so rolling and sparring, I was going about 50 to 60% intensity and they still felt like children. The difference between athleticism, power, strength, and just grip strength, and this is no-gi by the way, it's so apparent, and I felt like I was rolling with a child, and it's nothing to take away from them. They were very technical. Technique is number one, I always say, but there's a reason there's weight classes. And I'm not a small guy. I'm 100 kilos, 6'3", 6'4" on a good day. So to even compare the two and to put this Hollywood nonsense in that like these 100-pound girls can take on a bunch of dudes, it's just absolute garbage.
I'm also a swimmer. There are some girls on my team, they use the argument that if you're at a certain point in your transition, then you are equal to a woman. And I was wondering how you would refute that argument.
The science of this has been heavily discussed. 1 year testosterone suppressant, which is what the NCAA suggested is enough to make a man a woman, does not change the fact that men on average are taller. Men have larger bones. The physical shape of males is actually their hips are narrower than ours, and the reason we have wide hips is so we can have babies. And in terms of swimming, if you just push off the wall and you see how far you glide, men actually push further because their bodies are more hydrodynamic. Men have larger lungs, they have larger hearts. All of those factors are not taken away when you suppress your testosterone and you take estrogen. There is, of course, a little bit of change, and you do get slower and you lose a little bit of muscle mass. Your heart size is not changed by that. Your bone density is not changed by that. Just looking at testosterone, that is one hormone in the human body. There are hundreds of other hormones in the human body as well as those physical.
I'll just try to paint a clear picture on the differences between men and women when it comes to athletic ability. It is a night and day difference. Literally, these trans athletes, they go over into these women's sports and absolutely dominate, smashing records left, right, and center. Like these women, biological women don't even stand a chance. Yet these guys were the bottom of the barrel in the men's sports. The reason they transitioned over into the women's sport because they feel like they could have a chance. And these guys are also on hormone suppressing therapy. So they're actually performing at a lesser level than what they normally would. So the difference between men and women's sports, hopefully I painted a clear enough picture for you to understand. It's just like, come on, man.